Top stories. St. Kitts Nevis Prime Minister Timothy Harris drops hint of mandatory COVID-19 vaccination. Chief of Staff of the Genève Hospital discloses full reopening of St. Kitts Nevis in October. And regionally, St. Vincent and the Grenadines on alert after the latest volcanic activity there. Hi, I'm Andre Huey and welcome to this edition of the SKN Newsline newscast on Channel 95. St. Kitts Nevis Prime Minister Dr. Timothy Harris has hinted to the possibility of mandatory COVID-19 vaccination. He made the comments at the presentation of the COVID-19 vaccines from the COVAX facility on Wednesday. Glenn Bart has the details.
No option is off the table, said Prime Minister Dr. Timothy Harris, as he commented on the need to reach herd immunity for the full reopening of the economy. Speaking on the occasion of the arrival of the COVAX-sourced AstraZeneca vaccine, Prime Minister Harris said, if necessary, government will make COVID-19 vaccination mandatory for employment in the private and public sectors. He said legal advice on this is already in progress.
We need every employer, not just to say, but to insist that every employee must be vaccinated. This is where it's going to come. For the protection of your business, for the protection of the peace and the health of those who are vaccinated, employers, including the government, will have to give consideration to that. We have seen it already started in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Last night in Leadership Matters, I made it clear that my government had sought the advice of constitutional experts in relation to this particular matter. And there is, of course, a balance. But ultimately, we are confident that our Health Act, Public Health Act, does provide for the compulsory vaccination of persons, but certain SRO become necessary. And so we are getting further legal advice as to how we will move and how quickly.
Harris said it would be highly irresponsible to recruit people who are not vaccinated while asking people already employed in the private and public sectors to be vaccinated. Glenn Bart reporting for SKN Newsline.
In a related story, political commentator Duncan Watley has slammed the Prime Minister's comments on mandatory vaccination, labeling it as dictatorial. We have more in this report. Political commentator Duncan Big Lies Watley has taken umbrage to statements made by Prime Minister Dr. Timothy Harris, which suggested mandatory COVID-19 vaccination for the St. Kitts Nevis public. In an interview with SK Newsline Thursday, Mr. Watley said the Prime Minister's statements were irresponsible.
I think that he should not have gone down that road, and it is very disturbing because we are talking about a vaccine that the jury is still out on. We are not certain as to the efficacy and how well it's going to be to our bodies down the road. And so for him to be using such harsh language and such strong languages as to say that the government is seriously thinking, his government is seriously thinking about making it mandatory for civil servants and workers of the government to be vaccinated. To me, we are seeing what we call a dictatorial kind of behavior by our Prime Minister.
He suggested that the Prime Minister's comments may have been made deliberately to gauge the public's response.
I know the Prime Minister very well, and this is something that he does very often. And I know sometimes there are persons within his cabinet and within his immediate surroundings who sometimes would cringe when he says certain things, because he has a history of going out on a limb to say certain things very carelessly and like in a don't care kind of manner. And so I don't want to say he misspoke. I think that what he did was very much calculated. If you know Timothy Harris, and I know Timothy Harris, he does things, he says things to get the feedback from the general public, to get the feedback from the persons out there who are listening.
Mr. Watley believes that public education on vaccination should continue in order to encourage persons to willingly take the vaccine. He noted that the National Assembly would have to be called upon to pass a law to make vaccination mandatory.
they would have to go back to the National Assembly and pass legislation to effect this kind of mandate that he is calling for. And so, yes, the National Assembly and the elected members have a right to make laws, and so they can go and try to. And that is why I'm saying that we are bordering the line of dictatorship.
Prime Minister Dr. Timothy Harris, during the presentation of the COVID-19 vaccines from the COVAX facility on Wednesday, suggested that the government is looking at the possibility of implementing mandatory vaccination. Andre Huey, SKN Newsline. Still to come, police have provided details in last week's accident at Old Road Bay. Elliot's Funeral Parlor is the first licensed embalmer in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. We have a friendly and professional staff. At Elliot's Funeral Parlor, we offer a wide range of packages from $6,500, homegoing service at chapel, locally made caskets, tailoring of outfit for deceased of your choice, wake, overnight with slideshow, funeral, death announcement, obituary, booklets, family pin-ons, memorial books, preparation of funeral arrangements, wreath, fresh and artificial. For further information, call 469-3298, 664-2007 or 660-0186. Elliot's Funeral Parlor in Gingerland, Nevis. Dedicated to those we serve. Football is back, and the St. Kitts and Nevis Football Association will be bringing you live football on its website, www.sknfa.com, with Premier League Live. Without fans in the stadium due to COVID-19 protocols, you can now watch every single Premier League match this season on www.sknfa.com and click on Live TV. Games are shown live on every match day with halftime and post-game shows. It's Premier League Live. Commentary, analysis, action. Never miss a game. Autoplus Car Wash, located on the College Street Gut, Bastyr, St. Kitts. Bring your car to Autoplus Car Wash to remove water stains, wiper marks. Get your doors, roof panel cleaned, seat floor mats, buffing, headlights, and engine wash. You get quality service at the best price at Autoplus Car Wash. They really care for your car. Call 765-5140 or visit them on the College Street Gut, Bastyr, St. Kitts. Autoplus Car Wash, where the service is number one. Welcome back. Medical Chief of Staff Dr. Cameron Wilkinson discloses plans for full reopening of St. Kitts and Nevis in October. He was speaking during the most recent edition of Leadership Matters this week. More in this report.
St. Kitts and Nevis should begin to experience greater economic activity when the country reopens fully in October. According to the Medical Chief of Staff Dr. Cameron Wilkinson, vaccination of the population at 70% or higher will enable the country to fully reopen. But at that time, it is expected that COVID-19 will gain access to the local population.
As we move towards a full reopening sometime in October, we can expect the virus to return and enter our communities. The difference now, compared to the early days in the fight, is that we have a vaccine available that can protect us. We congratulate the near 10,000 persons who stepped forward and did the right thing and got their first shot, taking us to almost 30% of the target population.
Dr. Wilkinson warns of the high risk to persons who are not vaccinated when the country fully reopens.
When the country is opened, if you are not vaccinated, you are likely to get seriously ill and may die from the virus, which will come. Getting vaccinated will certainly prevent this. The vaccine is 100% effective in preventing you from getting severely ill and dying from COVID-19. Once we reach herd immunity, we can consider changing a lot of the restrictions that are in place to contain the spread of the virus, as the vaccine will give us extra protection. Even before reaching herd immunity, as the number of vaccinated persons increase in the population, changes will be made. We are looking at increasing the number of persons who can attend mass gatherings once you are vaccinated. This means that persons who are fully vaccinated will be able to attend football matches, athletic meets, church services, weddings and funerals in near normal numbers. Entertainers will be able to organize mass events with increase in the cap way beyond the current figure of 150 once attendees are vaccinated.
He said outdoor entertainment like the St. Kitts Music Festival can be organized once the targeted vaccinated number of persons is reached. Glenn Bart reporting for SKN Newsline.
Police have provided details on the autopsy report of the Federation's third homicide victim.
Police confirmed that an autopsy conducted on the remains of 34-year-old Leon Philip of Legreat determined that he died from a single gunshot wound. The autopsy, which was conducted yesterday by resident pathologist Dr. Adrian Nunez, concluded that death was due to hypovolemic shock due to a massive hemothorax as a consequence of a single gunshot wound to the throat. Police in a media statement said they responded to a report of a shooting incident in the Newtown area sometime after 6 p.m. And upon arrival, they met the motionless body of Philip laying on the ground with what appeared to be a single gunshot wound to the chest. Investigations into the matter are ongoing.
Just over a week later, the police have provided details on last week's accident at Old Road Bay. We hear more from Jermaine Abel.
Speeding and overtaking are being highlighted as two of the major causes behind last week's Old Road Bay accident that left 3 people nursing injuries. Police, in finally providing details of the accident, revealed that 2 adults and a child were injured in the accident that saw motor GP 2747 plunging to the bay below the road. Information provided by the police yesterday states that the accident occurred after 6 p.m. when vehicle P2747 traveling west towards Greentree tried to overtake another vehicle, and while doing so, the driver lost control of the Jeep. In trying to avoid a head-on collision with an outgoing vehicle, the Jeep went over into the Old Road Bay. The man was treated and discharged that same day, while the woman and child were kept overnight for observation. Jermaine Abel reporting.
When we come back, regional news.
The SKN Newsline website now offers you more news. Log on to www.sknnewsline.com for local, regional, and international news. You can also watch the latest newscast and keep abreast with news in sports, all from sknnewsline.com. That's www.sknnewsline.com. News at your fingertips.
Stay abreast with news on St. Martin with SMN News. Visit www.smn-news.com for up-to-date news, scoops, opinions, and hard-hitting facts. SMN News, we tell it like it is. Visit our website www.smn-news.com.
It's the new and improved SKN Newsline Android mobile app. With the SKN Newsline app, you can watch your news reports, the SKN Newsline newscast, sports, special features, and so much more. You can also send us a WhatsApp or call us directly. Go in the Google Play Store, search SKN Newsline, and download the app today. The SKN Newsline mobile app. News on the go. Welcome back. Le Soufrière, the volcano in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, which has been erupting effusively since December, can erupt explosively in hours or days, said Professor Richard Robertson, the lead scientist monitoring the volcano, on Thursday. We have more in this report from Jermaine Abel.
The Le Soufrière volcano in St. Vincent and the Grenadines is said to be nearing the point of eruption sometime within the coming days. That announcement was made today by Professor Richard Robertson at a press conference as Kingston has noticed major seismic activity at Le Soufrière.
It's a continuous seismic signal that I said, and it's usually associated with the movement of magma to the surface. Now, we know magma that was coming out already. What this suggests is that more magma or fresh Martian magma is on its way to the surface. In addition to the tremor, we have recorded 3 long period earthquakes during the second, these were recorded during the second batch of tremor. And again, long period earthquakes from studying volcanoes, this volcano and other volcanoes elsewhere, they are also usually associated with the movement of magma. So all indications are that there's a fresh batch of magma that is trying to come through.
Plumes of smoke were seen emanating from the site this morning. St. Vincent and the Grenadines Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves confirmed that a decree would be issued during the day as he urged citizens and residents to be on the alert for a possible explosive eruption.
We are making all the final preparations. We will follow the science. We will continue to take the advice of Professor Robertson and the team of scientists and with Michelle Fobbs.
When Georgia's Republican-controlled Senate passed new voting laws, the reaction was scathing from civil rights activists and Democrats.
This boycott is not something we want to do. It's something we have to do.
They're protesting the state's new rules, including limiting voting drop boxes and new ID requirements, citing the impact on minorities. Huge corporations, many based in the state, were initially muted, but after pressure came out in support of activists saying voter access is a fundamental right. The most consequential move came from Major League Baseball, opting to move their All-Star game out of state, a decision that could cost Georgia $100 million.
Georgians and all Americans should know what this decision means. It means cancel culture and partisan activists are coming for your business. They're coming for your game or event in your hometown.
The Masters Golf Tournament is going ahead. The Professional Golf Association saying it's committed to local charities and the community in Augusta. Many star players say they support civil rights, but also the financial boost the game brings.
I think that's the topic that we should all be talking about. We shouldn't be talking about whether we're here or not. The Masters, the PGA Tour, we do such a good job and we're trying to help communities out. And I think that's our main focus for the week.
Beyond the calls for corporations to condemn Georgia's voting laws, there's concern about the financial impact. Some leading Democrats in the state say it's a fine line, but the potential to harm poorer communities is very real. Republicans say the new laws will make Georgia's elections more secure and have walked back earlier rules that would have limited voting on Sundays, a major point of contention. Democrats say corporations taking a stand is a move in the right direction.
It's not cancel culture when companies decide to stand up, speak their principles and values, and understand that their consumers are also looking at what is happening here in Georgia, and that their consumers want to see the company do the right thing as well.
The new laws are likely to face legal challenges, even as other states enact similar rules. It's likely the conservative-leaning Supreme Court will have the final say as the battle for voting rights continues. Andy Gallagher, Al Jazeera.
When we come back, a look at sports. Football is back, and the St. Kitts and Nevis Football Association will be bringing you live football on its website, www.sknfa.com, with Premier League Live. Without fans in the stadium due to COVID-19 protocols, you can now watch every single Premier League match this season on www.sknfa.com and click on Live TV. Games are shown live on every match day with halftime and post-game shows. It's Premier League Live. Commentary, analysis, action. Never miss a game. Auto Plus Car Wash, located on the College Street Gut, Bastyr, St. Kitts. Bring your car to Auto Plus Car Wash to remove water stains, wiper marks. Get your doors, roof panel cleaned, seat floor mats, buffing, headlights, and engine wash. You get quality service at the best price at Auto Plus Car Wash. They really care for your car. Call 765-5140 or visit them on the College Street Gut, Bastyr, St. Kitts. Auto Plus Car Wash, where the service is number one. In sports, Old Road Jets continue their good form in the SKNFA Premier League with a 2-0 victory over league leaders St. Peter's on Wednesday at the Warner Park. More in this report. Tikwani Williams of KFC United Old Road Jets is now the hottest striker in the SKNFA Premier League. Just days after bagging a hat-trick in the demolition job of Trafalgar South Stars, Williams scored a brace on Wednesday night at the Warner Park as Old Road defeated league leaders St. Peter's 2-0. St. Peter's were uncharacteristic for the entire night as the team known for the second best defense in the league and a high-octane attack had only one shot on target and were pegged back for most of the match. Old Road went into halftime with a 2-goal lead after Williams found the back of the net in the 17th and 42nd minutes. Even coach of St. Peter's, Anthony Nets Isaac, sang their praises after the match.
Really impressed with their attacking force, but even before the game started, I thought with the attacking that they can play a lot of combination plays, and must say kudos to them. Well played from them.
As for Coach Lester Morris of Old Road, the victory was a welcome sign of the hard work they put in on the training pitch.
What we did on yesterday was basically keeping the bar, because when we look at the South Stars game, we were putting just about 4 or 5 passes together and then giving it away. Tonight we was able to get some of the time more than 4, 5, 6 passes together, and then we get on the backside of the St. Peter's goal, and we just had to look for the goal, and that is what we got very early in the game, and that is what we really look forward to get an early goal. And now once we got an early goal, it was only a matter of time before we got the second one, and so done.
Tikwani, what a player. Comments on him?
Well, there's not much to say, but coming off of the heels of the last season, he saw where he would have fell off, and he has decided to do some personal training. So some early mornings he's there at the ground doing some training, and even we train at 6 o'clock at evenings. 5 o'clock he's hitting the gym. So he has a personal goal, and really it is to win the Golden Boot this year. And so far, I must say, after 7 matches, he's already found the back of the net 10 times, and so he's really poised to go forward and do what he has to do. And we just have to play around him and rally around him and keep him steadfast and strong.
In the night's other match, Flo 4GKM Rockets returned to league action with a 4-0 victory over Hot Springs Bath United. Scoring for Keon, Shaquille Pringle scoring twice in the 6th and 61st minute, Raheem Davis in the 35th minute, and Devontae Carty in the 86th minute. This has been the SKN Newsline and Newscast on Channel 95. If you want more on these stories, you can visit our website at www.sknnewsline.com. From all of us here at SKN Newsline, I'm Andre Huey. Thank you for watching.